Good morning, YouTube. I just wanted to leave a good review on a Klein Toolpouch that I purchased about 3 years ago, and with pretty intermediate use. I'm mostly residential. I do a lot of commercial and industrial as well, but for the most part, I'm residential. Crawling through crawl spaces, attics. Getting it snagged on things. A lot of people don't prefer to wear a tool pouch, and it's not for everybody. Now, I found this Klein tool pouch. It's all you gotta get if you go to Amazon and you type in Klein tool pouch 5119 right here. You'll find one of these all real authentic leather, either black or suede, or I guess like a tan pouch. And these serve me very well. This is probably my second one. I've gone through them about every 5 years. My roommate, who's a electrician, He's been an electrician for about 12 years now, and he has the same exact pouch, which what ultimately led me to purchase this pouch. Um, he's had his for over 12 years now, I believe. And now the only thing is that with leather over time, leather will stretch. So his is oh, that's a bad idea. Okay. His over time, nice. All right, hold on a second here. Sorry about that. His over time has stretched out and had worn and faded, but surprisingly, leather is actually pretty sturdy for the most part. Um, it'll typically, whatever you carry daily. Like, these are my panel screwdrivers. My flathead, take the panel dead fronts off and whatnot. Phillips or whatever. And I did have a square tip in here, but I don't use it often enough to leave it in this section of the pouch. But for the most part here, let me take all my tools out so I can kind of show you what's going on here. The only downside I have about this pouch is that after about a year, the chain had worn through. When you buy one of these, it comes with a chain, and it comes with a kind of a deal right here, a metal wire that goes across for your electrical tape. Well, unfortunately, mine had worn out, but I took a piece of grid tie and ceiling grid tie wire, or that holds the grid up, and I bent it into a T, and then put a piece of grid tie around it to kind of hold it together. And this is chain link cable that you use to hang light fixtures and whatnot. But for the most part, it held up pretty nice for about 3 years of use. And this is rigorously used. Now, the only thing is that over time it will start to it'll start to crack if you don't break it in properly. And the best way that I know of that has worked for me for leather boots, for Klein tool pouches and whatnot, is to soak it in water for a couple of days, and then put all of your tools in the pouch that you want the leather to form to. So, for example, my Kleins, they drop in nicely, perfectly fine. Now, when you first get this pouch, it's going to be kind of hard to put all the tools in. But, obviously probably from sweat and just repeatedly, stretching open and whatnot, it finally, got loose enough to put tools in there. Because I originally had a hard time putting more than 2 or 3 screwdrivers in at a time. And typically you don't want more than 3. I recommend, if you do, put a flathead, a Phillips head, and then put a square tip in there so you can, work on your breakers and whatnot. And then I highly recommend the, Ideal strippers that you get for about $22 at any City Electric or Newton Electric, I don't know. It just depends on where you're at. You also have Home Depot and Lowe's that sells, Lowe's sells Southwire, I believe, and Home Depot will sell your Ideal strippers. At least in my location in Georgia, they do. But anyway, and then I reserve this spot right here for my TIG tracer, my hot stick and whatnot, what have you, Widowmaker, whatever you want to call it. And basically, this pouch has done me very well. Now, what I'd like to do is, being that it's leather, I have some leather working tools. I could actually put a slit right here or something, and then put a piece of leather down in there and fold it over and rivet it, kind of like how these deals are, just to prevent it from breaking through. But honestly, I believe that the only reason that it started to wear out like this, if you see exactly what I mean here, I just want to fold a piece over and then rivet it, you know, just kind of rebuild it a little bit. But for the most part, I don't think that it's going to go through. I mean, maybe it'll pop past that rivet eventually. But I haven't had any issues. Now, that's from years of just letting your Kleins just drop into your pouch, you know, and then it starts beating on this rivet. But besides that, I mean, you know, you could add all kinds of stuff to this. Like my coworker, he actually cut a slit. He cut a slit right here and put a piece of leather and then stitched the leather to it so that there's a little leather loop, and he has like a little leather pouch that he puts wire nuts in and whatnot. But the only problem with that is the more weight you put on this pouch, you know, over time it's going to start to, you know, stretch out and whatnot. But, you know, even though he's had his for 12 years and, you know, his is about up to here now, you know, that's only because he put a lot of weight and abuse on his. But honestly, you cannot beat the price. I mean, this is $20 on Amazon, brand new. Honestly, for the most part, it looks exactly the same as if I bought it, you know, brand new, you know. But basically, yeah, that's all I got to say. Now, another thing that people recommend is to put some sort of leather lubricant, you know, in the bottom of this from right here. You know, if you put it down in there, it'll prevent it from drying out. You can see the light right there where my Kleins just kind of beat on. It stretched that rivet out, or stretched it out past that rivet. If you put some sort of like a shoe leather or a shoe leather lubrication or whatever, I can't remember the what it's called. It's some sort of a lubricant for the leather, but it'll prevent it from drying out and stretching this part out and breaking it. But anyway, so there goes that. You know, I figured I'd leave a little review on that. You know, I wanted to show people how the 5119 leather pouch works for me, and it fits very nicely. There's, I mean, it kind of bangs around a little bit, especially with this here, if you're in an attic and gets caught in some things sometimes. So you might want to like relocate your chain or whatever to be closer in here somehow, like my coworker did. But besides that, I mean, a lot of people don't like to wear pouches, but for those that do, I highly recommend this, especially if you're just a service tech in low voltage. If you're doing Cat 5 or Cat 6 or Ethernet, or any Ethernet, or anything that has little precision screwdrivers and whatnot. You can put quite a bit on here. But I mean, I really like this pouch. But I appreciate y'all watching, and hope you got some help out of this. And I'll put a link in the description, that goes to the Amazon link, and you can purchase one yourself and see how you like it. Thanks.